Ba-ba-ba-ba-da-ba-ba. I wonder if we're live. Do-do, 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 do-do. Perfect. We're alive. Live and kicking. And y'all don't need to see into my shit. Right. First of all, thank you very much for joining me. Yes, my name is Sean, and these are my MLS predictions. Thank you very much for joining me. Um, Doing all right so far in my predictions. A couple of them went a bit of astray the other day. Um, Not going to say that I'm proud, but I'm doing very well. I think it started off quite badly. I think the first two games um, didn't go great, but I kept it up. I think I did very well, and then kind of a lot of games that I did get quite well sooner down the line. Like so. Again, if you're new to this, hit that follow button on Twitch. I'm doing this on Twitch, but it will be up on the YouTube later on. Hit follow button. There is no subscribe, but hit me subscribing on YouTube. That would mean a. I hurt me. Don't know how the hell I did that, but anyway, I usually hurt myself a lot. Right. If anybody in the comments, hit me up in the comments to see what the crack is. If you are new to this, I do predictions for the MLS thing. I think there's only about 12 games. There's two tonight. Then there's the rest are all kind of later on. So, and these are my predictions. I usually get them correct, so that means I do quite well. Saying that, again, these MLS is pretty tricky to predict because it's MLS and anybody could really beat anybody on their day. So might as well crack on with the first game, which is Columbus Crew against New York Red Bulls, which will be tonight at half 12. And I may get to see the wee bit of the start of it, but I'm not 100% sure. But here it goes: Columbus Crew at home against New York Red Bull. Now Columbus Crew have a better record at home in compared to New York Red Bull having a complete crap record away from home. And in the last four, New York Red Bulls haven't won anyone, and Columbus Crew actually have won a game at home. I think that was at the weekend or last week. Yeah, when that was in Cincinnati, so that was kind of like a derby kind of thing. But then they got beat by Orlando, which okay. Then they got beaten by Miami, which I think I predicted correctly. So now they're coming up at home again against New York Red Bulls, who, like I said, aren't having all that haven't yeah, they're not doing all that great. They've they got beaten by Chicago and got beaten by Montreal away from home. So saying that, this game will be a interesting one. I do think it possibly could be just a 1-all. Yeah, I'll go for a 1-all. Let me know in the comments what you think yourselves, and all kind of stuff. I could give a wee shout out on the thing, and all that. But yeah, Columbus Crew against New York Red Bulls. I don't really see this being a high scoring game. I know these two teams are known for scoring a lot of goals in their games. But I think this one here, there's just probably just going to pass them a wee bit too much. I think these two teams are kind of not want to lose it at this stage in the season. The two teams are basically, I'm not going to say out of playoff contention, but the two teams kind of really do need to go for it. But I don't think the two of them are just kind of going to even each other out and not really do all that much. So I'll go for a 1-all draw in that one. Next one is New York City FC against FC Dallas, which is going to be on at half 12 tonight again. Now, FC Dallas is always kind of been a young squad, so away from home up against a very good team in New York City, it's going to be a tricky one. New York City in the last four have won all their home games, so that's impressive. But in their last two games, they got beaten away from home against Nashville, which, okay, it's not too bad. And then they got beaten by New England, which, okay, they're top of the league. Okay, that's not too bad. But then they beat New England. Was their last home game. So saying that, coming at this one, at home, New York City possibly will be the strongest. I'll go for like a 2-1 win. I think New York City, just as I said, are strong. They're scoring a lot of goals, and I think they will be at home. Or, well, They will be in that area of New Jersey, New York. I can't remember which stadium they're playing in. Again, it could be in MetLife, not MetLife. Could be in MetLife, to all I know. It could be in the Mets Stadium or the Yankee Stadium or the Red Bull Arena. So who knows? I could possibly just check online, but I could not be arsed. Um, so yeah, I'll go for like a 2-1 win on that one. The next one is Toronto against Inter Miami. This is kind of like a, I would have said a bottom of the table, but actually Inter Miami are actually starting to move up the thing, which is pretty impressive, all things considered. But they are going to be away from home against a Toronto team who are not all that great. If that's if that's a nice thing to say. I just don't see them. Toronto are doing quite badly at this moment in time. You kind of feel sorry for the amount of money that they spend on players, but I think as the season's kind of basically became a write-off. They're coming up against the Inter Miami team, and you would hope that they'll put more effort into this one and actually give them a good thrashing with all the players and all the power that they have. Saying that, Inter Miami have are coming into this with better form, which is surprising because Toronto haven't won anything at home in the last four, whereas Inter Miami won their last away game, and they're actually doing quite well in the last six games. They've won four of them, so they beat Columbus Crew at home, and then beat Cincinnati away from home. Drew with Toronto, Orlando beat Toronto 3-1, and then beat Chicago 3-2, and then lost against New York City FC, which isn't a bad thing. So coming into this one, Inter Miami's already beaten Toronto. I think they could possibly do it again. You would hope Toronto should probably win this one, but I'll go for a 2-1 win to Inter Miami. I think Toronto are they're just not feeling it anymore. I think they're just basically written off the whole season, and which is kind of sad to see. But I think that's the unfortunate thing when there's no relegation. When there's no relegation, there's no need for them really to fight anymore. Just basically save face. Okay, the next one is Atlanta against Cincinnati. Um, Actually, Atlanta starting now are starting to get into the groove. They got only in the last six, they only lost the one and they won the rest, and that was against Nashville. They got beaten by. They beat Orlando quite convincingly. They beat DC United, pretty good result all away from home. Beat Toronto 1-0, 1-0. It wasn't all that great. So, and then they beat Columbus Crew 3-2. So it's not too bad. And now they're coming up against the Cincinnati team who won their last game, which was against Toronto 2-0. Atlanta's probably got this one win quite convincingly. I'm going to go for like a 2-0 win, perhaps. I do like Cincinnati, but I think this, and they've kind of not let me down, but I kind of did say this, they're my dark horse to get into the playoffs. It's still, well, I'm not going to say early days, but God knows what could happen. But yeah, it's not going to happen. So, yep, 2-0 to Atlanta, just for the fact is they're probably the better team, and Cincinnati are not in compared. So, yeah, 2-0. And the next one is DC United against Chicago Fire. DC United are actually have a very good record at home at the moment. They haven't drew a game at home, which is pretty impressive. They have 3 defeats and 7 wins, which is pretty good. Whereas Chicago Fire only had the one win away from home, the one draw away from home, and 8 defeats. Not particularly good, Chicago Fire, but and their away record. The record's not too great either. They've only won the one game away from home this past while, and that was against a New York Red Bulls, which again, it's actually not too bad. But they are coming up against the DC United team, who are starting to they kind of had a wee purple. Well, didn't have the purple patch. They had a black patch. They basically just went off the road. But let me y'all think in the comments below. Whatever what the hell it is. People say in Twitch. I don't know. DC United. I'll go for like a 2-1 win to DC United. They're just a far better team than Chicago Fire. Chicago Fire usually do give you a good fight, but I don't think this one. I think DC United may neck this one. I don't see it being a comfortable game, but I do think they'll get this one over the line, as the terminology says, as the experts say. So yeah, I'll go for that one. The next one is Orlando against FC Montreal. Montreal is actually not doing too bad. They're 12th in the league, which is pretty impressive for a team who have a new manager who's not really kind of used to the league and all that kind of stuff. So they're doing pretty well. Orlando started playing okay at the very start of the season, then kind of lost their way. Like their home record is 7 wins, 4 defeats, and 1 draw, which is not too bad. And the last four they drew two and lost two. Well, sorry, drew two and won two. And Montreal have 2 wins away from home, 4 draws, and 6 defeats. So not all that great. They're not conceding a lot of goals when they're away from home, which is pretty good, but they're not scoring a lot of goals either. So I'll probably go for like a should I go for like a 2-0 win? I think Orlando have the better team. They did get beat against Atlanta, but they still have a good record at home. So yeah, I'll go for like a 2-0 win, and I want. I think Montreal with the flying and all that kind of stuff. They fly basically themselves. So yeah, all that kind of stuff getting down there against Orlando. 2-0. I'll go for 2-0. 2-0, sorry. And the next one is Sporting Kansas City against Sporting Kansas City against Minnesota United FC. Now, Sporting Kansas City, let's see, at home, not doing great. They've kind of won their half of their games. Well, they've won six, drew five, and 1 defeat, which isn't too bad in the grand scheme of things. Whereas Minnesota, 2 wins, 5 draws, and 4 defeats. You can probably kind of see where this is coming. A lot of teams are very good at home, quite poor away in compared. And these two teams in the last four have a very similar record: won one, drew two, and lost one. So Minnesota lost their last one. So Sporting Kansas City against Minnesota. I'll go for like a 1-0 draw, 1-0. I'll go for a 1-0 to Sporting Kansas City, just for the fact that they're at home. They are a better team. They've kind of won their last game at home. They're probably coming into this a wee bit more fresher. They played their last game at home, so they're having 2 games on the road. No, yep, this is a so there's under they're at home again for the second game in a row, so they're probably going to be a bit more fresher coming into this one. I know Minnesota don't really have all that far to travel, but yeah, I'll go for like a 1-0 win in that one. The next one is Austin at home against New Los Angeles FC. Um, could this be one where actually Austin could beat Los Angeles? Do you think? I know Los Angeles won their last 2 games against Sporting Kansas City and Real Salt Lake, scoring on quite a few goals, but then they drew. Drew against LA Galaxy 3-0, which is a lot of goals, but they're conceding a hell of a lot. They got beat by Vancouver, Atlanta, and San Jose Earthquakes in their last 3 away games. So, do you think Austin? Ow. You know what? I think Austin can probably get a good result in this one. I'll go for like a 1-all draw. I do think Austin could probably, as I said, probably can get a good result in this one. Again, this is LAFC's first game away from home in quite a while. So yeah, I'll go for like a 1-all. The next one is Portland Timbers. 1 second. Uh, let's see. Portland Timbers against Colorado Rapids. I'll go for, let's see. I think the phone was vibrating. I think somebody's calling me, but who cares? Let's see. Where are Portland Timbers? They actually started their last 3 games away from home. They've won. So this is their first game back against Colorado Rapids, who are doing very well. So I'll go for a. They're winning their games, Portland Timbers, and they're going to be at home. So I'll go for like a 2-1 win. And then, so yeah, Portland Timbers are a very good team. So I'll go for like a 2-1 win on that one. The next one is LA Galaxy against Houston Dynamo. LA Galaxy have a better record. They are at home with Javier Hernandez. So, I'm trying to get through these a wee bit quicker because I'm nearly 15 minutes in. So I'll go for like a 2-0 win to LA Galaxy just for the fact that they are the better team and Houston Dynamo haven't won a game away from home. And now the last game is San Jose Earthquakes against Real Salt Lake. These two teams don't really have a great record home or away. Coming into this one, you would say San Jose Earthquakes will probably have the better record in form. Real Salt Lake have lost their last 4 away from home. I'll go for like a 1-0 win for San Jose Earthquakes. So well, Wouldn't be a bad result. So that is my predictions. I hope to see you soon, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye now.